Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 29th of March 2023. And to be honest, there is not much going on in the world of Bitcoin and in the price of cryptocurrencies. But there is some massive news going on with left-leaning administration and the Senate members are planning to ban cryptocurrency wallet. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that in today's episode. And look guys, I've said this time and over again, when you talk about politics and politicians, as of now they definitely have a very strong say in the trajectory and direction of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And listen guys, left-leaning administration and left-leaning ideologies are definitely not in favor of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, freedom of speech and open source technologies. Right-wing politicians or Republicans, on the other hand, are definitely in favor of Bitcoin, open source and cryptocurrencies. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore what left-leaning administration and Senator Elizabeth Warren is planning to do in order to put a ban on cryptocurrency wallet. Now it's very unlikely that this thing would happen, but they're definitely aggressively pushing for ban on cryptocurrency wallet. Now in Europe, we have some massive news and the European Banking Federation has released a paper on European digital money. Now look, our central bank digital currencies are definitely going to be mainstream 3 to 4 years down the line. Now in the meantime, it's so critical that we truly understand what central bank digital currencies are. And we truly need to make a conscious decision if we want to go into the central bank digital currency route or do we want to stick to Bitcoin and open source. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on what that report is all about. Now look, since the last few days, the global crypto and fear index is definitely looking green, which just means that the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies technically should be on the uptrend, but that is not the case. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore what does crypto and greed index actually mean. Now regarding Binance guys, we have some update, and in yesterday's podcast we talked about CFTC going aggressively after CZ and Binance. And CZ from Binance, they have actually published a blog via Binance.com. So what I'd really urge you to do is read through the blog, but nonetheless, in today's episode we definitely go ahead and explore what is CZ stance regarding CFTC. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Day podcast, we will be looking at 2 news from UAE. Now the first news is an event that did happen earlier in the month, and this was to do with Ultra Music Festival. Now if you're someone into music, you may have definitely attended that event, or you would surely have heard about this event. And the news is that Binance BNB Chain and a team in UAE called Fellas, they actually teamed up during that event in order to offer NFT ticketing to Ultra Music Festival, which took place in Abu Dhabi. And the second news is about a Dubai headquartered firm called Eureka, and they are focusing on building the first democratized digital investment bank. Now, unfortunately, they haven't mentioned blockchain and cryptocurrencies, but I'm going to pose a question. Keeping in mind blockchain, keeping in mind cryptocurrencies, where does their business ideology fit in? So quite a lot to cover in today's episode, so let's kickstart with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee a Day has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us. From the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies, we'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee a Day. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee a Day, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Firstly guys, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you've taken care of that, let's go ahead and discuss the global cryptocurrency market. Now, to be honest, there is not much going on, particularly so far as the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is concerned. Now, there are rumors in Africa that quite a lot of banks are going belly up as well. Now, look, guys, if this trend continues and in the next 90 days, if there's some massive news in the world of banking industry, particularly to do with Bitcoin, the prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum might just pump up to the moon. Now, the chances for that thing to happen, and we live in a world of hyper-Bitcoinization, is extremely unlikely, but nonetheless, the global cryptocurrency market currently stands at $1.16 trillion. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.87%, and the total crypto market volume of the last 24 hours is ridiculously low at $41.37 billion. Now, imagine, guys, once we live in a world of hyper-Bitcoinization, I'm pretty much sure that the total cryptocurrency market volume will hover somewhere between the 200, maybe even $300 billion range. Now, since the last 24 hours, the total crypto market volume has increased by 4.74%. Now, surprisingly, guys, the volume on DeFi is not doing good at all. It is down to $3.77 billion, and the total value locked is still below the $50 billion mark at $49.35 billion, and Lido is still dominating at 21.71%. Now, look, guys, as and when the Shanghai upgrade date kicks in, I'm pretty much sure Lido's dominance will be drastically impacted, because when you talk about Lido, they're definitely in the world of staking, particularly for Ethereum blockchain, and that's one of the reasons why it's dominating. And as of today, so far as the total value locked is concerned, it is at $10.72 billion. So what's going to happen is, as and when the Shanghai upgrade date kicks in, people are going to either withdraw the stake Ethereum or they are going to continue to be part of proof of stake protocol. Now, nonetheless, I'm pretty much sure the dominance of Lido is definitely going to be impacted. Now, as of today, DeFi accounts for 9.10% of the total cryptocurrency market volume. Now, so far as the total value locked is concerned, MakerDAO is number second and $7.61 billion is locked in this protocol, followed by Aave at $5.56 billion, Core Finance at number 4 at $4.66 billion, and finally Uniswap at $3.88 billion. The volume of stablecoins is ridiculously low, and it is down to $36.97 billion. Now guys, via LinkedIn, there's this article circulated via Cointelegraph, and that talks about the dangers of stablecoins. Now mind you guys, the article is definitely good, but the data is incomplete. They're only taking into consideration the data that has happened in this year. What I'd really recommend you to do is look at stablecoins data going back to Bitfinex's notorious history of Tether USDT, probably roughly around 2018 and 19. So we'll get a thorough understanding of what Tether USDT is doing. Now, as of today, it still accounts for $28.34 billion. And look, guys, I have said this time and over again, the black swan event for the cryptocurrency world might just be Bitfinex's Tether USDT. Now, Ivan on Tech, one of the favorite YouTube influencers, he had a YouTube video yesterday where he actually talked about if the US government will start aggressively going after firms outside of US, and Binance was one of the firms. Now, if that thing happens, guys, and if the United States of government were to go after Bitfinex Tether USDT, trust me, guys, it's going to be absolutely chaotic and catastrophic. The impact might just be 10 times worse than the collapse of, let's say, Terra Luna USDT and FTX combined as well. Now let's look at the volume. Circle USDC's volume is $4.28 billion and Binance BUSD's volume is $3.46 billion. Now guys, if you were to compare the market cap of stable coins, Tether USDT's market cap has surprisingly gone up at $79.52 billion. So the question, guys, which again boggles me quite a lot, is the market cap of Tether USDT is $79.52 billion, which means they should be having $79.52 billion as a reserve, and out of that, only $28.34 billion is used in the last 24 hours. So what happens to the remainder $50 billion? Is it still kept in reserves, or are they being utilized in other protocols to garner more interest? Now Circle USDC's market cap has gone down to $33.31 billion and only $4.28 billion is utilized. And guys, Binance BUSD's market cap is down to $7.71 billion. So roughly 50% of the market cap of Binance BUSD has already gone out. So look, guys, if the government needs, they can definitely aggressively go after stable coins. And one thing which I did mention a few days ago in my podcast as well, as and when central bank digital currency kicks in, the use case of stable coins will definitely keep on going down. I still don't understand why you would want to use stable coins once central bank digital currency goes in. Now talking about the volume of stable coins, they still account for 89.35% of the total cryptocurrency market 24-hour volume. Now guys, let's look at market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin's market cap is $532 billion, whereas Ethereum is $219 billion. And once again, guys, on the 12th of April, as and when the Shanghai upgrade date kicks in, I'm pretty much sure there's going to be some drastic movements, particularly in Ethereum, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to the market cap of Ethereum. So if I were you, what I'll be looking at is the volume of stable coins, because what happens is, in a lot of the exchanges, they use stable coins in order to buy or sell Ethereum. So keep a track on stable coins and then keep a track on the market cap and 24-hour trading volume of Ethereum. And I wouldn't be surprised if the dominance of Ethereum during the 10th, 11th, and 12th definitely picks up a lot of momentum. Now, as of today, the dominance of Bitcoin is 45.82%. Ethereum's dominance is 18.80%. The 24-hour trading volume, guys, for Bitcoin is $18.10 billion and Ethereum is $8.78 billion. Once again, guys, during the Shanghai upgrade, I am really expecting that the 24-hour trading volume of Ethereum would touch the $20 billion mark. Now let's look at the market cap of privacy coins. Monero is clearly an outlier at $2.83 billion. Now one thing, guys, which is boggling me quite a lot is Mask Network. because I'm seeing some drastic movements in Mask Network. If you're someone who is using Mask Network, please let me know in the comments below, because to be honest, I haven't used Mask Network at all. Zcash market cap is $394. Now, just to give you some icebreaker regarding Zcash, the day Zcash had launched, the price of Zcash was more than double the price of Bitcoin. Granted, the price of Zcash and Bitcoin was relatively less, but in 2016, when Zcash had launched, the price of Zcash for roughly around 3 to 4 days was more than double the price of Bitcoin, but the prices have definitely fallen down. But so far as market cap is concerned, it is a little shy of $400. Now let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. It is currently at $27,553. And listen guys, if the banking industry were to collapse, which could happen because of news not related to the finance, fintech or money world, it could be linked to, let's say, geopolitical situation. If at all that thing were to happen, the prices of Bitcoin would definitely pump up to the moon. And could it be possible that the bet that Balaji Srinivasan is hedging for, the price of Bitcoin to reach $1 million, will that happen? Very unlikely. The maximum I can think of is the price of Bitcoin to reach maybe $100,000. But like I say in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, when it comes to price prediction, guys, all price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time. Now, since the last 24 hours though, the price of Bitcoin is pumped up by 2.21%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 2.55%. Ethereum is at $1,790, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 3.94%, and since the last 7 days, it is down by 0.94%. Binance Coin is not doing that good, and it is currently at $313, and later on in the episode, we'll definitely go ahead and explore what CZ and Binance has to say in response to CFTC suing Binance. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 7.25%. And look guys, the left-leaning administration is definitely not a fan of Bitcoin, freedom of speech, open source and technology. Now what has happened is that Elizabeth Warren, a senator, I believe she's a Democratic senator from Massachusetts, is pushing the Senate to ban your crypto wallets, and Cointelegraph has reported that Elizabeth Warren is back with Anti-Money Laundering Act that would, among other things, make it mostly illegal for you to use your own cryptocurrency wallet. Now, the bill is particularly harsh on decentralized finance, including non-custodial ones, requiring platforms to record the personal information of users and submit it to government without a warrant on probable cause. Now listen guys, if you want to get in-depth information on how government is against privacy, what I'd really recommend you to do is read through books and listen to podcasts on cryptography, which has nothing to do with cryptocurrency as such, but look at what David Chaum has been fighting for since 1980s. Now, David Chaum is one of the OGs in the world of cryptography and the OGs of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular. He has definitely been an advocate of privacy, and he's been working on cryptography where governments do not have control over our communication and money as well. Now, so far as cryptocurrency wallet is concerned, Elizabeth Warren, a Democratic senator from Massachusetts, has introduced a bill called as the Digital Asset Money Laundering Act, which seeks to regulate the cryptocurrency industry in the US. And guys, once US adopts it, I'm pretty much sure every other country in the world will be adopting it as well. Now, this bill would require companies that develop cryptocurrency software to register as money service providers and adopt anti-money laundering policies. It will also prohibit the use of digital asset mixers and require self-hosted wallets like the kind you keep on your cell phones to have anti-money laundering services. And guys, many people in the cryptocurrency industries are extremely critical of the bill, and they are arguing that it will drive the cryptocurrency businesses overseas and weaken consumer choices. And a lot of cryptocurrency enthusiasts say that the bill is too harsh, particularly for decentralized finance, which is a fast-growing sector for the cryptocurrency industry. They also argue that the bill is designed to hobble cryptocurrency and crypto businesses with an unreasonable regulatory burden rather than to protect consumers. And look guys, the Democratic Party is definitely not in favor of open source as well, and they're aggressively behind cancel culture as well. And left-leaning politicians like Elizabeth Warren are generally not in favor of cryptocurrency adoption because they view it as a tool for money laundering, tax evasions, and other criminal activities. They believe that the government has the responsibility to regulate the cryptocurrency industry in order to protect consumers and prevent illicit activities. However, some people in the cryptocurrency industry argue that excessive regulation could stifle innovation and drive the industry underground, making it harder to monitor and regulate. And look, as regulations are good, particularly for centralized exchanges, and by having clear regulations, it definitely helps protect investors and average individual customers. But if you know the notorious history of Democratic Party, particularly in line with Sam Bankman-Fried, you would understand which side of political allies are definitely not in favor of Bitcoin, open source, and cryptocurrencies. Now in Europe, guys, the European Banking Federation, which is a voice of 33 national banking associations from all across Europe, and they are representing 3,500 banks. What they have done is they have published a vision paper on the digital ecosystem. Now the paper focuses on retail digital euro, and what I'd really recommend you to do is go to the website and read through it. It is roughly around 24 pages long. Now what I'll try to do is I'll just highlight some of the summaries of that paper, because what they aim to do is create value for end customers and the economy for existing and new innovative use cases without crowdfunding out payment services provided by private sector. They also claim that the digital euro ecosystem will preserve financial stability and banking funding, thus maintaining Euro banks' lending capacity. And based on the report, guys, they foresee a robust business model, so incentivize intermediaries to provide services and innovate based on digital euro. And finally, what they assume is this would balance design choices to safeguard the privacy and enable the fulfillment of compliance requirements such as KYC, AML, CFTC, while also maintaining intermediaries to process customers' payment data based on customers' consent to provide value-added services. And finally, guys, what this report claims is the digital euro ecosystem leaves ample room for the private sector to add on solutions and services to better serve customers. Once again, guys, read through it. It is only 24 pages long. Or what you can do is put it down to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give you a summary of it. Now, Wim Midges, the CEO of European Banking Federation, is highlighting the importance of careful consideration and collaboration in the development of a digital euro, and the digital euro would be significant evolution with far-reaching implication for Europe's financial ecosystem and the euro system itself. Now, based on the report, the CEO of European Banking Federation plans to ensure that the digital euro comes with positive risk-benefit ratio. The right foundation must be put in place, and they aim to have the right foundation to be put in place, including effective cooperation between the public and private sectors. Now listen, guys, a retail digital euro would be a new tool for payments that has the potential to enhance Europe's strategic autonomy, promote innovation, and strengthen competitiveness. However, it must be designed in a way that adds value for customers and is supported by a robust and sustainable business method. Also, guys, the market should have a strong role in designing payment solutions which require cooperation between various stakeholders. But my question is, why bother all these things when we already have Bitcoin? Why not just adopt Bitcoin? Simple as that. Now, the European Banking Federation is committed to engaging in an open, transparent dialogue with all stakeholders and the digital euro. And guys, the project goes beyond creating a new payment tool, and questions related to the impact of macroeconomic, societal, and financial sector levels should be a central part of the strategic, political, and technical debates. And this approach will help ensure that the digital euro is designed and implemented in a way that supports strong, resilient, and innovative payment ecosystems in Europe. And look, as I've been saying this time and over again, in the second half of this year, you'll see a lot of startups, a lot of consultancy firms offering advice in central bank digital currencies. Now, guys, let's discuss some massive news regarding Binance. And yesterday, the global cryptocurrency market did fall down because of CFTC suing Binance. Now, in response to that, the CEO of Binance, that is CZ, has addressed the allegations against him by the US CFTC, that is Commodity Futures Trading. Now, they put up a blog which is mentioned on the website. What I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, read through the blog because it is extremely basic and very simple. It clearly states that the complaint appears to contain an incomplete recitation of facts, and Binance does not agree with the characterization of many of the issues alleged in the complaint. Now, a few areas that they mentioned in the points are technology for compliance in US blocks, cooperation and transparency with law enforcement, registrations and licenses, and finally trading. So in the response via the blog, they've essentially focused on 4 areas. So let me go ahead and explore these 4 areas in details, because Binance disagrees with many of the allegations and believe that they have best-in-class technology for compliance and cooperate with law enforcement, and Binance has strict policies for its employees to prevent trading and manipulate the market, and Binance is committed to collaborating with regulators and believe in doing the right thing for its users. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the 4 points that they mentioned in the blog. The first point that they mentioned is in relation to technology for compliance in US blocks. And Binance claims to have developed best-in-class technology to ensure compliance with KYC or Know Your Customer, AML or anti-money laundering regulations. They are the first global non-US exchange to implement a mandatory KYC program, and they have one of the highest standards in the industry. And Binance blocks US users by nationality, IP address, mobile carrier, device fingerprints, bank deposits and withdrawals, blockchain deposits and withdrawals, credit card bin numbers, and more. Now, reading through this, it does give me an idea that you should definitely not be using a cryptocurrency exchange. But nonetheless, going back to the rebuttal, Binance claims that they are aware of no other company using systems more comprehensive or effective than theirs. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? I kind of sympathize and agree to Binance, but let's have a look at the second point that discusses cooperation with transparency with law enforcement. Now, Binance claims to be committed to transparency and cooperation with regulators and law enforcement in the US and globally. They have over 750 people in the compliance teams. Many work with prior law enforcement and regulatory agency board. And look, guys, I did mention this in my Metaverse Everything podcast and in my Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast as well. The team that is set up in VARA, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority at World Trade Center, Binance did actually help in order to set them up. So I 100% can confirm and agree to this. And Binance have handled over 55,000 law enforcement requests to date, and they have assisted US law enforcement in freezing, seizing more than $125 million in funds in 2022 alone, and $160 million in 2023 so far. They have intended to continue respecting and collaborating with US and other regulators around the world. Now, once again, guys, based on this rebuttal, it does make me not want to use Binance because these are the dangers of centralized exchanges. But nonetheless, from Binance's point of view, these rebuttals definitely sound strong. Now, the third point that they mention is registration and licenses, and Binance.com claims to hold the highest number of licenses and registrations globally with 16 and still counting, and they are well regarded by the user community. And finally, guys, regarding trading is concerned, Binance.com claims that they do not trade for profit or manipulate the market under any circumstances. They convert their revenue, which are in crypto, from time to time to cover expenses in fiat or other cryptocurrencies, and they have affiliates that provide liquidity for less liquid pairs, and these affiliates are monitored specifically not to have large profits. And Binance has a 90-day no trading rule for employees, meaning employees are not allowed to sell a coin within 90 days of the most recent buy, or vice versa, to prevent employees from actively trading. And Binance actively prohibits the employees from trading in futures, and they have strict policies for anyone with access to private information, such as, say, details of listings, launchpad, etc., and they are not allowed to buy or sell these coins. And CZ claims that he is observing these policies and strictly and never participated in Binance Launchpad, earn margin or futures. Now listen, guys, when you talk to some of the OGs on Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, they definitely have a lot of respect for CZ in particular, not necessarily for Binance as a company as such, but nonetheless, let's see how and when these news develops. I wouldn't be surprised if, let's say, Binance or CZ tries to settle this out of court. That'll definitely be the best thing for them and best thing for the consumers as well. Now, guys, let's discuss some metrics on the Crypto and Greed Index. Now, this data is often referred to, and some of them tend to refer it on a daily basis. If you do want to find out more information on a daily basis about the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, the website is alternative.me. And what this does is, it does provide sentiments on a daily basis. Now, as of today, it shows greed. Now, what essentially some of these data means is, when investors are getting too greedy, that means that the market is due for a correction. But let's say during times of extreme fear, it can sound that investors are too worried, and that could be a buying opportunity. So it depends on what narrative fits your own personal agenda. Keep in mind that the Crypto and Greed Fear Index is just an idea, and they take different factors into consideration. And based on that, they mention greed, fear, extreme fear or extreme greed, and quite a lot of other. Now, guys, let's discuss two news regarding UAE. And to be honest, guys, this news I should have covered it probably towards the end of February. So the first news is Binance BNB Chain and Fellas team did actually partner to bring NFT ticketing to Ultra Music Festival in Abu Dhabi. Now, Ultra Abu Dhabi Music Festival took place on the 4th and the 5th of March, and Binance BNB Chain and Fellas collaborated to launch a blockchain-based ticketing solution for Ultra Abu Dhabi Music Festival, and the solution used NFTs to verify the authenticity of tickets and offered a secure and seamless ticketing experience for fans. And one of my friends, guys, he was actually working at that event. He's working for event organizers. And what he told me was that the NFT option was only for VIP customers. So I really am not sure if an average individual user could actually buy the Ultra Music Festival tickets. But the news is Binance BNB Chain was the world's largest smart contract blockchain in terms of daily active users, and they were the ones who participated in Ultra Music Festival, and the partnership set a new standard for Web3 fan engagement and entertainment applications, and the NFT ticketing solutions provided a more secure and engaging ticketing experience for fans. And Lucas Chu, the managing director of UC Global, supported the use of NFTs for event ticketing, and Fellas NFT tickets were powered by Binance BNB Chain, and they were the official tire that offered VIP admission at Ultra Abu Dhabi 2023. And these ticket guys were announced somewhere in the month of February, and ideally they were integrating NFTs to the ticketing process, offered several advantages over traditional ticketing system. NFTs, as we know, guys, offer reliable and secure means of verifying ticket authenticity, guaranteeing entry access exclusively to those with legitimate tickets, and this helped to combat the issue of ticket fraud, which has long been a problem, particularly in the music industry. Now, merging NFTs and ticketing does allow for greater flexibility and convenience in the ticketing purchasing process, and ticket holders could easily transfer the tickets to their friends or resell them on the secondary market without paying a fee to a reseller, and this allowed for a more seamless and hassle-free experience, particularly for the music fans. And the use of NFTs in the ticketing process enabled the implementation of innovative features such as personalized and interactive festival experiences, and Fellas and BNB Chain guys were committed to providing the best possible experience for fans coming to Ultra Abu Dhabi. Now listen, guys, I really am not sure about Ultra Music Abu Dhabi, but it looks like this is, if not one of the biggest events in the United States of America, and I do think that this was the first time ever they ventured into another region, and they did that in Abu Dhabi, and they implemented NFTs, so it is absolutely a massive event. So my big question is, guys, because listen, I play drums for a heavy metal band, and I absolutely love to go to these events, but personally, I tend to prefer physical tickets. It could be possible that I am kind of old school, but my question is, would you prefer an NFT for your favorite artist, or would you prefer a physical ticket for your favorite musician? Mention your thoughts and comments in the section below. And the second news is about a Dubai headquartered firm called Eureka, and they are focusing on building the first democratized digital investment bank. So let me try to give out some more information, and the website is eureka.com. And guys, when I went through the website, what I found out is that they are focusing on building everyone's digital investment bank, and they're focusing on investment in growth and pre-IPO companies, institutional and crowdfunding, capital raising, owning shares in businesses of the future, and they claim it's a universal platform. And Eureka matches companies ranging from growth businesses to pre-IPO ventures with institutional and individual investors that add value to the company's strategic expansion plans, and their vision is to democratize financial opportunities across multiple regions, and they're currently regulated and operated in UK, the Middle East and Southeast Asia, with plans for further expansion and integration across the globe. And Eureka, guys, started in 2013 and grew quickly to create a reputation as one of the leading global multi-regulated equity crowdfunding platforms. So the big question is, when you talk about the world of decentralized finance and blockchain, what is it that Eureka is doing? Now, founders Sam Kosemi and Chris Thomas are former investment bankers that embarked on this journey to democratize and digitize the financial world, bringing it to your mobile phones. And Eureka, which is a Dubai-based equity crowdfunding platform, is expanding its service to build the first democratized digital investment bank, and the company will offer a range of investment banking products through an online platform and app, including secondary market trading and access to pre-IPO companies. Now, Eureka, guys, is regulated in the Middle East, UK, and South Asia, and the company's founders aim to democratize investment banking by providing access to opportunities for investors of all sizes, and Eureka plans to aggressively pursue geographical and product expansion through acquisition, and the platform currently allows investors to build a portfolio of vetted companies from various markets and industries to diversify their risk exposure, and the company matches founders with institutional and individual investors that add value based on the company's strategic requirements and expansion plans, and the soon-to-be-launched app will enable people to invest in growth and pre-IPO companies as well as participate in institutional and crowdfunding capital raising, and the company has successfully funded companies in UAE, Malaysia, the UK, and Europe, and Eureka Gas has grown into multi-regulated, cross-continental digital investment platform with over 40,000 investors from 72 countries, and equity crowdfunding will remain a subset and a product of the company's overall digital investment banking offerings, and Eureka is currently in its second phase of growth. And look, guys, if you want to find out more information, definitely check out the website. Because a few months ago, I definitely accessed the website and I did get some of my interviewees who tried to raise funds via Eureka as well. And the new investment banking products will be designed for both large institutional and small investors. And guys, Eureka aims to ensure institutional investors and family offices have access to larger international pre-IPO companies. And the secondary market, which will soon be launched, allows investors to sell their investments and capitalize on the gains, and the company matches companies ranging from growth companies to pre-IPO ventures and investors, and guys, investors can own shares in potential future unicorns through Eureka's platform. Now, I just have two questions, guys, and let me know what your thoughts are. How does Eureka plan to incorporate blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies into its new digital investment bank? Because when I was going through the news, I absolutely could not find anything regarding cryptocurrencies and blockchain. And keeping that in mind, what advantages will this bring to investors and the company? And the second question, guys, I have is, with the rise of decentralized finance platforms that allow for peer-to-peer lending and borrowing, how will Eureka differentiate itself and provide value to investors in a crowded market? Probably what I need to do is I need to get the founders, that is Sam Kusimi and Chris Thomas, and have a podcast session with them, and it will be better off if I ask them this question. But nonetheless, guys, that was the news from Crypto and Coffee at 8 for the 29th of March 2023. And in case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now, guys, for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question by Esther who asks, do you have any update on Ethereum Shanghai upgrade? Yes, Esther, I did actually mention earlier on my podcast today that the date which is mentioned so far via Bloomberg is 12th of April. And what I'd really recommend you to do is, Esther, if you do want to follow up on any changes, go to Twitter and follow Tim Biko. He's the main Ethereum developer who constantly provides updates so far as the date is concerned. So follow him on Twitter and you might get the accurate date, even the exact time and the block number when the Shanghai upgrade will kick in. And mind you, in case if you do want to get detailed and technical information, go to the Ethereum Foundation website and read through the updates, because the update is not just going to happen overnight. I'm pretty much sure there are a series of things that needs to be taking place. And as the CoinShares, they have an excellent blog. I believe they released it at least a month ago, where they actually discussed what is the implication of Shanghai upgrade, particularly keeping in mind the price movements. Now, really, I'm not sure if that thing will still be relevant now, but definitely a very brilliant article. So go to CoinShares Medium blog and read through the article, because they made some really nice recommendations, particularly in terms of price. But one thing, Esther, which I think is a worrisome factor, particularly as the Shanghai upgrade date kicks in, is the SEC and Gary Gensler is talking about Ethereum being a security, and the moment it actually changes. And I'm not sure once the validators are in a position to withdraw the funds, if there are some legal consequences. At this point of time, I really am not sure. And to be honest, Esther, Me lately, I've not been a fan of Ethereum lately. I really do not see any use case of Ethereum smart contracting platform. It definitely sounds cool. It definitely sounds really futuristic when you talk about Ethereum being the first world computer. But if you look at the use case, I really don't think so. Ethereum or any blockchain protocol will actually work. And the fact is, centralized systems do actually do a better job keeping in mind time, cost, and quality. Another reason as to why I'm not a fan of Ethereum is because, and I mentioned this several times in my podcast as well, ever since they had the upgrade and when they switched from proof of work to proof of stake, over 60% of blocks are OFAC compliant. And when you talk about open source and blockchain technology, one of the features, whether you agree to it or disagree to it, is that the transactions cannot be censored. But unfortunately, as far as Ethereum is concerned, over 60% of the blocks are following the guidelines of OFAC, which means transactions in Ethereum are not following the ethos of open blockchain. Now, going back to your question, as of now, the date is 12th of April. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the price of Ethereum. And one thing which I did mention earlier on in the episode as well, keep a track on the volume of stable coins, because a lot of centralized exchanges, they tend to use stable coins in order for you to buy or sell Ethereum or transfer it into your own banking account as well. So that was it, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series and Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com and check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover job news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, pure blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And how this series of episodes in the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.